Hello there.
It's really nice to see you.
You look nice today.
Welcome back to Lowdown, your source for music, arts, and entertainment in the Akron area and beyond.
In our final episode of 2020, we'll be showcasing some amazing music.
We have a local musical artist,
An electronic music producer,
And multi-instrumentalist James O'Connor.
So don't go anywhere. Seriously, don't move. Because Lowdown starts now.
Ready, Tyler?
Yeah.
Do you even know what your next line is?
Yes, I know what it is. I just can't see it on the teleprompter yet. Bah.
I was about to start. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is David, and I am thrilled to share our final episode of the year with you. It's been a wonderful journey, and I am so thankful for all the amazing memories.
All right, enough of that. Up first, we're going to throw it over to Maddie to talk about the musician that she interviewed. Come on in, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
can I sit somewhere?
Yeah, he's here.
Thanks. David?
Oh, my bum.
Alright. Anyway. Okay, well, I got to interview local musician Madison Cummins. She plays acoustic guitar and she sings based out of Lakewood. And she just came out with an album. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Madison Cummins. I am 26 years old and I'm originally from Cuyahoga Falls, but now I live in Lakewood, Ohio. I have been creating music since I was probably about 16. I think that was the first time I ever performed an original song, but I had started learning guitar when I was like a freshman in high school and then never looked back. I would define my style of music as kind of like acoustic, pop, rock, indie, folk, kind of like a weird hybrid. I always find that hard to answer because I feel like I'm influenced by a lot of different artists. So when I write music, I usually start with the guitar. I like just figuring out different chords, playing around for a while, and then I kind of just like sing la 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 and then find the words after. But there have been a lot of songs that I've written based on experiences. I use a kind of method that I learned in my songwriting group in college. The guy who ran our songwriting circle would look at all of us at the end of our session and say, point at someone and say, give me a word, and someone would say a random word like cell phone or anything, and then he'd say, well, go ahead and this week try and write a song about that and try and do it within an hour so you can kind of work your muscles. So sometimes if I'm feeling in a rut, I'll point at somebody near me and just say, tell me a word, and I'll go with that because I think that can spark some inspiration. What I like about performing live especially is, you know, seeing people up in the audience and seeing them react to something. I think is one of like the most amazing things, like the greatest gift. Like I love playing by myself and with friends and things like that, but I've had a couple instances where like a kid will come up to me and be like, I really loved this song, and Mom, can we get like one of her CDs? Like things like that are just, you know, incredible. I've had a lot of opportunities to do some virtual shows, which has been amazing. And this year I came out with my second album called Antidote, and we did a virtual live show to do that. We did it in Akron, and we had some openers, and we did like a live stream on Facebook, and it was really a weird thing, but I think knowing that like anyone can watch that performance of me releasing my album, it's still up on like YouTube and all that stuff, so I think that's kind of cool to like have it time-stamped. So I'm trying to find the light in a really crazy dark year, but still playing and writing and have some kind of shows coming together, so that's always exciting. So my second album is called Antidote. It came out this year. I have been writing for a really long time, and my first album came out when I was around 18 years old, and I'm 26 now. So it was kind of one of those moments where I've been playing out a lot and was waiting for the right time to record. I'd written a lot of songs, and I was trying to figure out which songs to record and how they would fit together in an album, so that was really fun to kind of work through. I recorded with the band Hey Monet. They're a local band who are two brothers. They're incredible, and they really helped me kind of find my sound for this album, which is a lot different than my first album, first album's a little bit more folky, and this one's a little more heavy, like pop sound, and a lot more instruments. So that was really fun to do. So everyone can find my music on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify. You can visit my website, madisoncummins.com, for what is a very limited amount of like show dates and things like that, but all my information is there. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, and yeah.
Thanks for that, Madison. Lowdown will be right back after this short break.
Welcome back, everyone. Up next, we're throwing over to David to talk about an electronic music producer that he interviewed.
Oh, hi there. Tyler was correct in the way he used his words. I interviewed Michael Bird, the artist behind solo musical project mrmoth. Growing up in punk bands, Michael tells me that originality was essential, and explains how this search for originality led him to finding creative liberation through electronic music production, and also shares some very fascinating insights about inspiration and creativity. Without further ado, I present to you Michael Bird from mrmoth.
Whenever you start to market electronic music, they always want you to identify what subgenre you fit into. And I always kind of hit a wall with that because none of them, especially the contemporary ones, really have anything to do with what I would describe as the sound. You know, I've been inspired by a variety of different electronic musics, and I've always felt more at ease kind of just experimenting and trying whatever genre or style suits me. So I mean, I have some things that sound very club and very dance, some things that sound very new wave, and I have some very heavy guitar-driven songs too. But all of it is with the idea that it's kind of built on a framework of technology and sequencing and electronic beats. When I was a kid, everything that I know how to do really was self-taught. And when I started, I'd find music that would make me want to make music. Specifically, Gary Newman was kind of the one that I always had in my mind, and begged my mom to get me a keyboard. And then I want to say probably my 13th birthday, she got me what is now a classic, the Casio SK1, which was one of the first sampling keyboards that was really available to most consumers. And I started experimenting with sound and taking beats and slowing them down and creating what I, as the 13-year-old, thought was very original music, you know. But I would call it audio art, and I would sort of like give it on cassettes to my friends, and most people were not at all impressed by this. But you know, I just didn't let their lack of enthusiasm stop me. So I kind of continued building skills, and eventually, you know, I started to get brave enough to start talking about playing with people. And the first sort of place I found was in playing rhythm guitar in pickup punk bands as a kid. And what was most important out of that scene was originality, because you were kind of down with the same instruments. Finding something unique to do with them was important, because then otherwise you just sound like every other band, and who needs you? Was it about '96 that I was still sort of trying to find a place for electronics in the bands that I was playing in, and started to get very frustrated with the fact that it seemed like everybody I wanted to play with was interested in playing sort of contemporary, or at the time, college pop rock. This was as grunge was dying. And there was enough of that in the world. I had lots of those bands that I thought were great, but I just didn't want to make more of it because there was plenty. Again, originality was super important to me. And that's one of the great things about electronic music, is because it's always evolving and somewhat in pace with technology. The sound has evolved too. So I was looking for an avenue for electronics, and then it started to occur to me that a lot of the people that were inspiring me didn't play with anyone else. They just did everything themselves. And I was already recording demos with a 4-track recorder. So I thought, well, why not do this? Why not try it myself and see what I can get done on my own? There's a graphic designer who was talking about how the computer won't make you a great designer. At best, what it will do is it will facilitate you working quicker. And particularly when trial and error is how you arrive at things, you can kind of rifle through a lot of bad ideas to get to the good one quickly. That fantastic art experience you have, where you will take a step and then the media will ask you to do something different with it. So you hear it and you respond to it, and then it's this dialogue that happens, and that dialogue, once it opens up, is the reason to make anything. That relationship with media where it really starts to become a dialogue. It's like, I hate to sound too prosaic about it, but it's almost holy, With my fine artwork, I have consistently said, I am merely the receiver, and that's been true since I had my real breakthrough moment with art, was suddenly realizing that it wasn't really coming from me. It was, I was receiving it, and it was my responsibility to honor the muse and make it real. And that's sort of this interesting thing about inspiration is, if you are lucky enough to get it, you have an obligation to realize it. Because if you don't, that's a sure sign that you're not fit to get it again. And I've gone through lots of periods where I haven't made any work and really sort of struggled. But the reason why was because, I'd had one good idea that I didn't finish. I sound very superstitious about it, but I really think it's true. Quincy Jones was saying, music is just 12 notes, man, and there are only so many places you can go with it. But if you manage to find a song that hasn't been sung before, well, you gotta sing it. There was a point in the time that I wasn't doing Mr. Moth that I had gotten very frustrated with the fact that was something that I really regarded as a core part of my identity, but I hadn't made anything in a long time at that point. And so I had been kind of dealing with trying to rediscover who I was. Was that music who I was anymore? Did it fit me? Who was that person? So I kind of gave myself a challenge, which was, I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm going to start a song, and my objective is going to be to finish that song by the end of the day. So in that, no time to sort of reconsider, are these lyrics too basic? Am I being too obvious about this? Is it too rudimentary? I just didn't have time to consider any of that. So in that, I had forced myself to really expose myself emotionally, and that song really kind of became the mission statement of the album. The song is about finding yourself in a place where everything that you thought would fulfill you, you can have it and it may not do it. You may find that there's no such thing as fulfillment in acquisition. And the process of writing this album was me really kind of coming to the understanding of what sort of finishes the album in the title track, Desire, that sometimes it is the desire itself, anticipation, the wanting to anticipate what is on the other side of the horizon that drives us over that horizon. There's a new album and a new EP, all digital outlets. It's the Desire remixes. It's what I regard as a nice companion piece to the album that I put out last year called Desire, and I would kind of consider hearing them together. If you want to know more about me and the mrmoth project, there's a lot of information at my website, which is mrmoth.com.
Thanks for watching. If you thought that interview was interesting, check out our YouTube page at ZTV Lowdown, where I'll be releasing a full-length podcast-style interview of our conversation, where we talk more in-depth about his work, his music video, philosophy, and even string theory. So stay tuned. Lowdown will be right back after these commercials. The shows are closed, the sound is locked down, and it hurts that you miss the taste of a face melted by bass. Get close to the sound on Lowdown. The guests we acquire are bound to inspire. So as we wait for the time to reunite, now is the time to excite your light.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Welcome back again. Up next, Tanner is sharing some details about his interview with James O'Connor. Come on in, Tanner.
Oh. I don't even know why I'm here, man.
Thanks for having me here, Tyler. So, for my latest package, I did an interview with my good friend James O'Connor. James is a multi-instrumentalist who has had a lot of experience in writing music in a lot of different genres. Let's check him out.
I'm James O'Connor. I am 23 years old, and I play all sorts of music, anything from indie rock to hip-hop, jazz, to folk rock. And I'm a fan of pretty much anything that you can put in front of me. I don't think that there's any music that I would turn my head at. I grew up in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, right down the road from Akron, Ohio, and there's a lot of brilliant local music that has come out of that area over the past many years, and still even now there's a lot of great local groups in the area, and I hope to become one of them. I have a lot of friends in the area that make great music, spreading pretty much from here, where I currently reside in Silver Lake, all the way up to Cleveland, Ohio. I kind of write music as a way of personal therapy. I write music to inspire others. I write music to push boundaries. I write music to kind of be someone that I look up to, kind of to be my idol. I write music to just in general find something that can reach higher than what life gives on a surface level. My process is usually 90% of the time write a guitar part play with that guitar part to flesh it out. Find neighboring guitar parts. This is, of course, if I'm writing like a folkier tune or something like that, or maybe an indie rock tune. When you got that song that is worthwhile, it sticks around. It sticks around, and then you got something on your hands and you just know. COVID has proven to be probably the largest challenge that will ever exist in my entire life from a musical standpoint. Performance just doesn't exist across the board. That's always been a super crucial thing to me. Performance is the key to financial stability. Performance is the key to personal stability. Just emotionally, being able to get up on stage and do the thing that makes you happy. The thing, really. When I was 10 years old, I made my first band with a few of my friends in elementary school at the time. We were a little cover band called Retro. Then I moved on to high school and I had a little indie rock group called the Ballroom Charades, and earned myself some opportunities in that. That was an original indie rock group where I was writing songs, and those were some of my earliest songs that I was writing in that group, and some pretty decent ones too. And then today, I'm in a couple projects, one of which is Antidote. Antidote is a jazz hip-hop group based out of Columbus, Ohio. We have one EP that we just released this year. We were making it during quarantine. Against all odds, we were able to finish it. I have one of my original tunes on that record, the closer on the record, Free for None. I also am in another group called The Michael Weber Show. The Michael Weber Show gigs around kind of the entire Midwest United States area right now. And then, of course, I have my solo project, which, you know how solo projects go. They happen, and sometimes nothing comes out of them. I've got plenty of songs, and I'm proud of a lot of them. Most of them are my most. I'm the most proud of them, of all of my collections of any songs I've ever written. I was talking about Cleveland earlier, and I've met a bunch of beautiful people up in the Cleveland area that I highly respect artistically. They have outlooks on life and art that I've never considered before. Just always the most exciting thing possible for an artist is to have different perspectives. Michael Weber and I grew up together, and we both ended up kind of as a unit, butting heads with this group of brilliant people. If you're looking for more of my stuff, you can find most of it on Spotify. I'm on a lot of Michael Weber Show recordings. I'm on the Antidote recordings on Spotify. I will have my own stuff on Spotify, my acoustic stuff, probably on Spotify, if not, definitely Bandcamp. And pretty much everything will just exist in the realm of social media posting. You know, you can follow me on James King Drums on Instagram and Twitter. Music is the thing that has always made the most sense to me. Between music and the people in my life that are the closest to me, I really don't have anything that I value more. I feel like I've already made a huge success in life most of the way just by meeting a lot of people who matter to me and making a lot of great memories and doing things that lots of people wouldn't get to do. But I'm not really satisfied yet. I want to become someone that people value as an artist. You know, it would just be pretty sweet if people liked my music. So that goal is always in the works. I don't think it'll ever finish, but here's to years and years of classic material.
Thanks so much, Tanner. You know what, honestly, I'm curious if I'm related to that guy, because my name's David James Connor, and his name is James O'Connor. Very similar there.
I don't know how possible that is.
Sus.
Thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube, all at ZTB Lowdown.
I can't believe it's the end already.
You knew this was coming. Everything comes to an end.
I guess we'll be back next semester, but it won't be the same.
Everything's changing. You just have to plunge in. Move with it, you know?
Out with the old, in with the new. In And that's the...
Just let it go to message. It's probably another one of those automated calls.
Yeah, but it's been ringing all semester. I want to find out who it is.
Don't you get those too? They happen all the time.
Oh no. Hello? 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 Hello?
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.